Hello guys, today is the session number 2 in Python programming. Today we shall discuss about structure of a Python program and elements of Python program. So here in this Python program it contains inside the structure of that Python program it contains expressions, statements, comments, function, block and indentations. First one contains expressions. Expression, so it is a combination of symbols and values. Suppose for example, so then 9 plus 4 or x or y less than 15. Any executable statements, normally we say that a statements that instructions, actions takes place, may or may not a result. Example here, print hello is a statement. X is equal to 10 is an assigned value. It is also a statement. Normally in any programming languages we are using comment lines. Comment lines are used to represent the description of the program. Either a single line comment or a multiple lines of comments or inline comments. Here in the Python program which contains three types of comments. One is the full line comment. First of all, comment lines are used to represent a hash symbol at the beginning. That represents full line comments. Inside the program you are using any comments, that is the inline comment. Suppose if you want to represent more than two lines of comments, so that time we have to use multi-line comments. So here in that single line comment, that hash symbol is prefixed at the beginning of the line. In inline comment, to represent that inside the program it is an inline comment. So suppose if you are using three double quotes or three single quotes that are used to represent the multiple lines of comments. Here that that program it contains functions. Normally that function definition, here going good is the function call. So after that inside the function that contains a definition of the function. Block means a set of instructions are represented in one indent. In C program we have to open the curly brace. Inside that we have to write the set of instructions. After that we have to close the curly brace. It is a block. Here also in the Python program it contains either a if block or an else block, or we have to include a group of statements or functions. So that is a programming a blocks. So indentation, this type of indentation is not there in C or C++ or in Java programming language. In early programming language we are using indentation that represents the line positions. There in the COBOL language we have to represent the segments. So there also we are using indentation. Same thing here in the Python program also it follows indentations. Normally that every code it start with a beginning of that line. So if you want to represent that indentation of moving that line forward to the 4 spaces. Here in this example, if A is greater than B, print first number is larger. That print is an indentation. Else print second number is an larger. So it is an indentation. If and else are in one indentation, then print statements are in the next indentation. Just we have to leave 4 spaces from the beginning of the line space. Here in the Python program, it is a sample program. You observe that first line that is prefixed with the hash symbol. This is a sample program. Then hash definition of a function going good follows. So full line comments. To define the function by using def keyword going good. So print it is easy to code in Python. It is a function. Inside that main program that contains expressions and statements. Here x is equal to 10, print x are the statements, y is equal to x plus 5 if y less than 15 are the expressions. So you observe here there is a inline comment, means hash colon means it's a block. After that it contains a indentation. If and else are in the one line, then print statements are just moved 4 lines of space forward. So that are indentations, and also that represents a blocks. So then going good is the function called. That function is function definition or function called. So here function call and inline comments are represented inside the program. Then we move on to the elements of Python. Elements of Python means building blocks of the elements. Normally we say that in the previous programming languages, keywords are the reserved words. Here elements are the building blocks of the program. A first element is a comment. Normally, to better understanding of the program, then we are representing the comments as a single line comment or multiple lines of comments or inline comments. Here in that Python program also it allows the comment lines. After that keywords. Normally we know that keywords are the reserved words because all keywords having their own meaning in the compiler itself, that we call that predefined meaning. Normally that keywords are written in lower cases. There is a rule or a condition, you should not use that keywords as an identifiers. So then next element is an identifiers of the names given to the variables that represents the memory of that variable. That identifiers are used to variables, arrays, functions or classes, objects, modules, constants, etc. Here whenever you are going to declare any identifiers, so that time we have to follow certain rules and regulations. Same this is applicable for variables also. Always starting character must be an alphabet. You should not use that any identifier as any keywords as an identifier. Then there is no blank spaces in between the variables. You should not use any special characters inside the variables. That are the some rules inside the identifiers. Similar to that, another element is a variable. It is a named memory location or container. Need not to declare, can change type after set. In previous languages, before using that any variables, first we have to type the declare the type of that variables. But in the Python program, it is not like that. Just you have to directly use the variables. Depends on the data, that variable changes. Here that memory representation of any variable, it associated with the name of the variable. Inside that it contains the value of that variable. Each variable having their own address in the memory locations. So here id is a keyword in Python program. It is used to fetch the address of the object. Example IDA like that. Normally we say that an element constants. Now we know that the general definition of the constants, it is a programming element. While execution of that program, that that value remains same. Here an identifier type of variable cannot be changed. It is a constant. This is helpful in the information cannot be changed later. No constants in that Python. Defined on module level and written in all capital letters. Use underscore to separate the words, similar to minimum value. Here in between minimum and value there is an underscore. So another elements in the Python program, literals. So data items are quantity, value cannot be changed during the executions. Here literals, what are the characters are used inside the Python program. So another big building block of the Python programs are the data types. Then if we want to write any programming languages, then we have to, before going to store the values, first we have to declare the variables. We have to represent the data type. Suppose if we want to store the integer values or floating values or characters or strings, so that time we have to use a data types. So in that a built-in data types and user defined data types. Normally built-in data types are readily available in the compiler itself. So the user defined data types are created by the users. Here that data types are represented diagrammatically here, built-in data types and user defined data types. Under that built-in data types, it contains none is the data type in Python, numeric is the data type, sequence is the data type, dictionary is the data type under built-in data types. Under numeric, that data types are integer, float, complex and bool is the data type. A bool is the a special variable inside the inside the Python program. Under sequence, here it represents a string, list, tuple, set and a range. So then under that user defined data types, a arrays, class and modules. Here operators. In any programming languages, all that program languages that contains an operators, that are the symbols. The types of operators inside that Python program is arithmetic operator, assignment operator, relational operator, logical operators, membership operators, identity operators and unary operators. Normally these operators are already you are used in the C language and C++ and as well as Java also. Here in that conclusion of the second session, here the Python program we are learned today is a structure of Python program. Every language is having their own structure of the program. Like that here also Python program having its own structure, and also it contains elements of Python. These elements of Python represents the building blocks of the programs. Guys, I think you are understood all the concept related to the structure of C Python program and elements of Python. Thank you very much.